Hey there. Planner girl deep sigh. So, it has been an interesting August, I have to say. I turned 49. So my birthday was a week ago, and I got to go home to spend time with my dad and my sister, and that was, of course, as always, just a hilarious time. But because of all of that, and it was kind of a sporadic travel experience, my dad had to have cataract surgery, and my sister and my father both agreed that an adult needed to be present, which is hilarious. My sister is 38, my father is 76. I cannot even begin to laugh about that story anymore because I just laugh every time I think about it. Maybe I'll share later on my people's log. But for this moment, so I have talked about many times about how I tried to condense my planner stack information, things that I have to have with me while I'm for work. And I've been looking, trying to figure out how to condense this with these, because, and I'll get into it and I'll explain it again because, I don't know who sees this. Hopefully you guys are coming back. But if you're new to my channel, I'm Mia. When Monday comes, I'm a planner girl at heart, business consultant by trade. And it's just a lot of things going on in my little world, and I have to write everything down. Like, I had a conversation with somebody who I just adore. She's like a mentor to me. She's worked around the world and just has a great outlook on how to just get through the world and the things that we're dealing with, personally, professionally, whatever. And she said, Mia, I have to write everything down. I said, you are not alone, because if I don't write it down, it does not retain in my brain at all. So I've discussed in the past how I use these little notebooks or something similar to it. I keep them thin because they're easy to move around, easy to take out, because I'm always traveling. And once I'm done with it, like I just finished this one, and I'll show you guys. I just finished this one. I'll save it. I'll keep it. I don't throw it away, but I toss it and I bring on the new one. Well, life is lifing and transitioning into the fall. And so this one is for my, what I call, where I take notes during my business meetings. This one, I had my first executive board meeting for my sorority. And so I am a chair of one of the committees. And so there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of dates, a lot of things. So executive board meeting, chapter meetings, committee meetings, all of that goes in here. I'm pretty certain this one should make it through the sorority year. But what I tend to do is add Delta stuff, and then I'm also an active member of my alumni association. So I'm hoping that I could probably use this for Delta and alumni association. We're going to see, because the goal is, guys, to minimize the stack. So let me rewind a little bit. So I'm showing you all of these, but before we got here, and I'm going to just kind of take all of this apart so you can see where we started, okay? So before we got here, there we go. Okay, before we got here, I'm taking out all of the things because I pondered and pondered and pondered and pondered, how can I minimize the stack? And so what happened was this. I used this. Let me get it out. This came from a subscription I was in a long time ago. I believe it was Planner Society. And I thought it was so cute. As you can see, I have my little stickers on here. Black and Brilliant. Don't let dumb shit ruin your day, which is one of my favorites. Kindness is free. Either I will feel... Either I will find a way or I will make one, and that is absolutely me. And this is one of my little stickers that I have just adored for years, and I refuse to get rid of this because I love all of these stickers. I love both of these shops, and I always forget. It's amazing how I forget this particular shop when, you guys, I have plenty of these stickers, and then I have the calendar for my desk, and then I have then I have the little mini calendars in the front of my Stalogy. But listen, I'm going to look up the owner because I do see her every once in a while on my feed on Instagram. I am not on Instagram regularly because I would say unfortunately, but I love what I do. What I do requires my attention, and I don't have time to really stroll on social media. So the reason why I even have this YouTube channel is because there are a number of things that I like to share, but this is the one little outlet that I get. And so, I love our community, and I just love to share, and I like to drop jewels about the things that I do. And hopefully at some point in time, someone may ask me a question, I can give an answer. It might help you in your business, whatever the case may be. But either way, I don't really hold on to, and I just think the women, you guys who do, you guys are so smart. Like, I don't know, maybe I need to write it down. I got to figure it out. But I was watching a video last night, and the lady, oh my goodness, she was so cute. I love her, and I follow her videos a lot. But she was like, you guys, sometimes we want the things and we don't know. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me. She's talking about me, and I felt so bad. But hey, listen, I'm work in progress every day. So either way, so this was my world, and I was so excited because it was small enough, tiny enough. I kept my Stalogy, which is kind of like my, when I wake up and I have, I look at my calendar, I see what meetings I have, and I kind of jot down the things that I need to make sure I discuss in my meetings in my Stalogy. That is all I use this for. But as you can see, I use it. So that went in here. And then this, which I've already explained sometimes before, this is what I use when I'm in the meetings and I'm jotting down my notes. So let me be very clear and very honest. If it's a virtual meeting, I usually have Gemini floating around or my Fireflies floating around to summarize the meeting notes. Sometimes it catches the meetings accurately, sometimes it doesn't. But because I process by writing, I have to write some things down. And so this is kind of how I make sure that my notes from the meetings are registered in my brain and registered in my to-do list so that I can actually do what it is that I have to do or what I have tasked myself to do or remind myself of what I've tasked someone else's teams. And you got to remember something. I work within 4 to 5 different companies, and in those companies, each of them has about 4 to 5 different teams. And so it becomes a lot. So I have to, it seems really repetitive. And I'm sure so many people who are in the planner or just kind of see what we do as planner girls are like, okay, how many planners do you need? How many notebooks do you need? How many times do you have to write it down? Listen, you gonna write it down till you can get it right. I'm okay with that because it's worked for me, and I've trained myself on doing this for a very long time because my brain is always processing. So in this book, I had my Stalogy, which is like my agenda, not my agenda for the day, my agenda specifically for my meetings. And then I have these notebooks, which were my notebooks that I catch all of my notes from my meetings, right? So at any given time, I would have normally two of these in here. And the 2 begin because as I get to the end, I'm not certain when I'm going to get to the end, and what I don't want to do is be in the middle of a meeting and then have nowhere to write my notes. And so I usually keep a rotation of 2. So like literally last night I went through and I did what I've discussed before. I've purged. That's what all those notes mean. I purged from this book. I went through and made sure that everything was captured in my mind, in my brain, and then I took these things, because that's what I do. I take them, and this is like my little my growing to-do list, and I place them in here. So this is really helpful because if anything, if I have to know what I have going on, I can just grab this and go, right? So this is a quick grab and go, but usually this sits on my desk at home, and as I go through my week, or like I did last night, I purged through my notebook. I started writing things down. As you can see, I haven't gone through here to check off, but I can look on here and see that there are plenty of things on here that I've done. So I tend to do this on the weekend. These are things that I've added, so you can see I don't have my dots here, which I will add. But then we are ending the month of August, and so this is kind of where we will end. September will begin, and we'll do it all over again. So that is how it works for me, right? So we have meeting agenda, notes, growing to-do list, right? But then I have on my desk my happy planner, which is kind of no, not kind of, it is the planner that is my house, home, family planner, you know, to-dos, like, you know, washing laundry, grocery shopping, bill management, pay the bills, blah, 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 all the things, right? And so that planner, I have finally found a place and a peace in my heart where that planner stays here. And let me just say, and I'm sure there's some ladies out there that can say, when I'm not in town, my baby knows where to go to figure out what needs to go on and what needs to get done. So I leave it here. I do all the things. It is a happy space where I put all my stickers, blah, 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 blah. But that is not something that travels with me if I am gone for a week or less. Now, if I happen to be gone, and it does happen, and I had to be gone for 2 to 3 weeks, 9 times out of 10, depending on the meeting, like the reason why I'm leaving, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it with me because it's so big, it's so bulky, and I've just learned over the years that I bring all the things, and I don't do anything with it because my life has kind of transitioned a little bit because I'm out of town. However, the plans that we have coming up in the near future, I will be gone maybe months at a time. We will be gone maybe months at a time. And so, of course, I have found what I think, and I'll share, what I think will be the perfect travel companion for all of my planner things. Because, girls, listen, I do a lot, and I don't ask for much, but one thing I must have are my stickers, my stickies, and my pens, my planners. It's what I have to have, so it is what it is. Everyone knows it, everyone accepts it, and even if they didn't, it doesn't matter. So anyway, so in the previous year or two, I've had this set up like this. So I would have my Stalogy here, and I would just kind of loop it in because obviously I can't write with everything in here. I would have the rotation of these in here. And I have to say that I definitely am a travel planner girl. I love travel planners. I still have my Foxy Fix, which is kind of like my everything, private, personal, passwords, doctors, information, family, everything in that. So that never leaves home. And then I have my home girl. This is my home girl right here. So I've seen that a lot of people are into the day designers, and I think that, you know, the day designer planner is very cute. I can't write that small, and I usually have a lot to write. So I have been using these. I don't even know what they're called. Let me tell you what they're called. I have been using, and I covered it up, of course, this planner. I believe I get them from, usually I get it from, what is it called? From Staples, generally. It's similar to a day designer, a little different of a setup, but it starts in July, ends in June, so 25, 26 planner. But this is my on-the-go planner. And the reason why I'm finally able to do this video, because this is where I kind of began my journey of what in the world, like, Mia, what is going on? Girl, get it together. So this I would keep in here, and it's because, and I will just show you an example. Of course, I use my Google Calendar. Of course, I have planners, but let me tell you something. I can be in a meeting. Like I was in my executive board meeting, and within that meeting, every single committee popped out dates. January the 26th, October 5th, September 27th, December 13th. Like dates are just coming. And of course, I don't have the time during those meetings to sit there and siphon through my Google Calendar. I don't really use my calendar on my phone to insert dates a lot. Eventually everything does end up on the Google Calendar. However, this is kind of how I have found a happy medium for writing things down so things don't get crisscrossed. So I don't care if it is personal. I don't care if it is business. If you throw a date my way, it is going in here until I can figure out where it needs to go. Okay, so this planner is my new one, obviously, for this year, or 25-26, July through June 25-26, yes. But I have been using this system for a long time, but I would typically just I wouldn't always take it with me, but what happens is I get the phone calls and things start happening, and, I'm with my dad, and he wants to start throwing out, well, I'm going to Myrtle Beach this, and I'm going to go to Nashville this, and I need to have this, and I need doctor's appointments for this, and so it just becomes a lot. So I have become accustomed to having this in here. And so this is how my girl ended up looking, which is cool. However, I began to feel like she wasn't protected enough. So, and it could be me because I throw everything into my bag. And so I started going down the rabbit hole of, oh, I know, I'm missing one. So you have to see the thickness of how this kind of all went. I started going down the rabbit hole of how can I make this more secure? How can I make it better? I looked at a number of different systems, and I have definitely been a victim of, I order it, it's the wrong size. Because the Stalogy is one size, the inserts are another size, this is a different size. I'm never sure of which way to go. And so I'm getting to a point here, I promise you. Just stick with me. So I kept thinking about some of my stash that I had at home in Maryland. And I said, you know what? Let me see if I can do this just to test the waters. And so what I did was I had this beautiful baby. Do you see her? She's so pretty. I couldn't let her go. And I said, well, let me figure out how I can use this, right? She's so pretty. And I feel like because of who my spirit is, this would be my fall cover because it gives all of the different, you see it, like you get the little orange, you get the purple, but you still get the little blah, blah. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You still get all the things, but it's still rainbowy. It's still unicorny. I'm a unicorn girl all day. So I said, let me see what I can do with this because you guys, I love all of the conversations that I've been hearing about using what you got. And I promise you, I don't need to buy another thing. I have so many things. So I have this one. I have a, looks like a platinum leather black with a pink inside. I do believe they were Recollections. I don't know if they make them anymore because I banned myself from Michael's a long time ago, even though I went, well, it wasn't Michael's, I went to Hobby Lobby. But anyway, I banned myself from buying these things anymore because I just had too many of them. And I'm just like, Mia, you got to figure out, you got to use it. You got to do something with it. So I started watching videos on how to remove the rings. So I did that. And as you know, we don't like it when it ain't cute. So I had to figure something out. And then when I was home, because I had these at my dad's house, when I was at home, something said, start taking apart this baby and insert this. And that's what I did. So I took her apart. And sometimes the rings, I don't even put the things in the rings, guys. Don't judge me, right? A lot of times this never goes in the rings because I'm always moving it out so much. And it actually gets caught up in the coil, which I'm probably going to have to recoil. Not sure. We'll see. Not sure. But I said, how can I get the best of both worlds? How can I use this and use this? And guess what I did, guys? Now, it was hard because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm covering up my favorite girls. But I'm like, they're still here. Mia, don't stress, blah, 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 blah. Not a big deal, but it's a big deal because look at them. They're so cute. I'm going to make sure that I remember who this is. Now, usually the ones I love, I don't even take off of the backing. I would just use the double-sided tape and leave them here so that I can use them again. But I was so confident that this was it that, yeah, we all make decisions. So I just said, oh, what if this became the backbone for this? And voila. And first of all, let me just say, you know, I did a little happy dance. And and by the way, this all happened while I literally fell in love with, oh gosh, I swear, you know, I'm a kid at heart forever. But I got to my dad's house on my birthday, and after we had to go to bed early because the surgery was the next day, and I started watching The Summer I Became Pretty. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. So needless to say, I binged. I finished watching all the way up until the next episode, which aired on Thursday of this week. And so it gave me something to do. But when I put her inside of her, look at it. Like, how cute is that? Right? And so, of course, I got obsessive and I began to remove the rings from the platinum leather black one that's black on the outside, pink on the inside. It reminded me of a pink lady. I'm a Grease girl all day. Don't judge me. It is what it is. And then I had another one, which was like a mint green, which I kind of like. If I would have done it earlier, that would have been the one that I got through the summer with, which is cool because now I know for certain this will be the one that I'll get through the fall, and the black and pink one will probably be the one that I jump off with in January. So I have a couple of months to live in here. But look, it did the thing. It gave me what I needed, and I didn't have to spend $60 on something that I wasn't really sure of if it was the right size. And I will be honest, I did say, well, let me see, because now I know, blah, 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 blah. But what happened was she now has a really nice, tiny, tidy home. And we can put her, this is a sticky note to remind me to pay my dues for 2026 for my alumni dues. She has a home, so we just slide her. Oh, wait. Got to be careful when we slide her because there's a pocket. We got to remember there's a pocket in here. But we just slide her on in here. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. She has a home. Then my handy dandy, which I officially moved into yesterday, my notebook for my meetings. You know, you already know how I feel about these. Let me put these where they belong, which is right there. My handy dandy. And so usually I would put them in the middle of I know where it should go, but what I notice is that it's easier to kind of like slide what's in there. So then here we go. So I have the best of both worlds now, right? And then what I've agreed with myself is that I don't have to keep this in here. The reason why this is here now is because I had an executive board meeting on Monday, and there's tons of notes that I need to extract from here and dates that I need to put in here. And so that's why this has been here. But I agree with myself. I talk to myself a lot that doesn't need to go in there. Now, where I struggle is whether or not this needs to stay in here. Now, it does fit. It does fit. And as you can see, I have 3 strings left. But the issue is that now I have gone to a bulkier state of mind. And as you know, the Stalogy gets a little bit bigger. So I think after I'm done with this, which I do love the paper, I am going to use a similar notebook like this for my agenda so I can just keep this thin. Because let me tell you something. When I travel, and remember, this is all because I travel. When I travel, I try to travel light. But baby, this ain't light. This ain't, you see this? This ain't light. This ain't light. This ain't light. And guess where this goes? Because this is my Trinity. this go, well, not my Trinergy, because I do believe in, honoring God, but this goes in my purse, which I will say my travel purse is a big bag, but this thing is heavy, right? And so I'm supposed to be downsizing. This is supposed to be, remember I said, I don't bring the happy planner out because it's so bulky, but now I got two bulks, but it keeps everything that I have to have in here. Because remember, I'm also traveling with an iPad. I'm traveling with a laptop. It's just what it is, because, I don't try to act like I'm one of those business women that, yeah, I gotta have it. It's part of how I run, and I don't just run my business. I help other people run their businesses. So it's a lot going on in my life. So yeah, happy space, happy things. And so this is what, if I have a meeting, I'm picking up and I'm going and I'm taking this with me. Why? Agenda, notes, dates you want to throw, because, where are we? Is this August? Okay, we're coming out of August. So you see, August, and this is it ain't a whole lot of cuteness going on here. It's just what's happening. But all of these things start happening. Like look, September looks like this. You know why? Because I haven't filled in all of the dates yet. And that's why I'm sitting here like, okay, take the time, fill it in, Mia, because what you don't want to do is miss any of the things that you have going on. So that's part one of this video. So I'm really happy about how I did this, use what I had to get what I need. But let's just take her out for a second and talk about how I use her, because I don't think I've ever shared this, because at some point in time, I felt like it was really relevant, but I guess it is, because, it's part of what I do. So, that's what's it called? I'll make that appointment. See this? I keep everything in here. So take all of the clips off. So yes, I do make it happy for me. I have some of my little stickers here. Oh, where are the stickers that I took out of? Oh, they're right there. I'll put them back in. All right. So don't judge me. Judge someone you don't care about. Hopefully you like me a little bit. But I love the Smurfs. And so there's a movie coming out, or I believe it already came out. I'm not really sure, but either way. Yes, I did get the Happy Meal. I got the King's Crown. One of my weaknesses is the chicken wraps from Burger King. And so I got a chicken wrap one day and I said, oh my God, I want a Smurf. So I got that and I just kind of put it there because it's, things that I open up makes you feel good. Covered up the front page, as we all know and do. Year at a glance. You know how we do, girls. Like, we just kind of make it happen. This is kind of like my little dashboard of how I keep track of what's going on in the calendar. Most of us do this as well. Once I'm done with the month, I kind of clip it together. So that's what I did here. 2025, just, papers, notes, paper to keep things together. So this planner, okay, how I use it. The calendar. So let's just, the calendar. Let's go to a calendar that we haven't used yet. I'll explain this later. The calendar is, hey, Mia, we're planning this trip for so-and-so during the weeks of blah, 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 blah. So I'll come in here and I'll write it down in here, going to Dubai, Ghana, wherever it's the business going on, right? I'll write in here. On top of that, I have my therapy appointment. My therapist will say, all right, Mia, let's go ahead and get your next 5 appointments in. I'll write them down in here, on here, right? I'll go through, I'll have my chapter meetings, like I mentioned, and I'll write down all the things that are going on and the dates so that they're here, because this is kind of, I take this and I put it in my Google Calendar. But I also, and I'll just give you an example of, we'll use the week that I was in August in Baltimore. So I use these pages, which let's show you what they look like when they're blank. Because I should have some, right? Okay. So this is what it looks like when it's blank. I'll use these pages to plan out my week of what needs to get done on those days. So I go through this little mama And let's just say I have 4 things that I need to get done that are on my to-do list. I will plot them out on here because my calendar is like my to-do list. And what I love about this planner is that on this side, it has to-do list, goals, notes. And so this is when I kind of put down my priorities, things that have to happen, so on and so forth. So just to give you an example, when I was in Baltimore, I knew I was going to be gone. I left on the 19th, which was my birthday. I knew I needed to order my prescription. I needed to schedule my colonoscopy, which I did not do because I got caught up with my dad. I was having lunch with one of my, I would call her a former business client, but she's not because she's like a sister to me now. That's how long I've known her. Her husband is like a brother to me. I actually knew the husband, met the wife. They're married now. And so I had lunch with her so I used this to plot out to make sure that I wasn't missing out on anything for that week. And that's what I use it for. So I had lunch with Cynthia on Wednesday. My sister and I went to the movies. My father had his follow-up appointment from his surgery, which was on the 20th, which was the day after my birthday. That on Thursday, I went to eat crabs with some of my other friends, my brother, my cousin, my sister, her boyfriend. On Friday, I went to go play bingo with my line sisters. On the 23rd, two of my other great girlfriends, they came to see me at my dad's house because I wasn't going anywhere because on Sunday, I traveled back home. My dad, my sister, and her boyfriend, we had brunch on Sunday. So you see, I kind of map out and hear what's happening. Now, some of these things, had I been home, would have been on my happy planner, but I wasn't there. And so I kind of mapped this out to figure out what my life was going to look out because this is what goes with me. So if I were home and it wasn't, let's just imagine it wasn't my birthday, all of these things that I mapped out, because I mapped this out probably 2 weeks ago, these would have ended up on my happy planner, but I wasn't there. So I couldn't use the happy planner. So that's just kind of how I use this. So now we're here, which, I got back in town and life has just been all over the place. So you can see there's nothing that happened here, right? But it's a whole lot that happened. There's so much that happened here. I got so much done. But, car window bumper. Okay. I got the car service. So, yeah. So that is how I use this planner. So I usually dump all of the dates. We are at the end of this week. I definitely have some things that I need to put in here just so I can remember when I did them, because I did get them done. But for some reason, when I go, I'm really productive. When I go and come back home, it's kind of like I'm thrown back into both of my multiple realms of my life. And so, I had to catch up with my honey. I had to catch up with it. This is a lot. So here we are. Now we're in September. So obviously for September, I am going to map out next week because there's a lot going on next week. And I know I have some things I need to map out here. And then I'll just kind of add in some of the things and places that I'm going to, because this is technically, literally, for sure, my on-the-go planner. So that is how I use this. It may sound confusing, but one thing I can tell you for sure is that it's not that we, us planner girls, we don't write things down. Well, it may seem like we do, but we organize ourselves. So this is what's with me in my purse every single day. Like this goes with me everywhere. When I come home and I sit down on Sunday, I go through here and I segment all of these things out. This is like a catch-all. I then segment out to my happy planner for life, personal. I do not have a work calendar. I have my Google Calendar and I use Notion to manage all of my projects. So I don't need a work calendar because Google is my calendar. And I'm sure I've shown it. If I haven't shown it, I'll show it one day. My calendar is the mecca of all calendars. And so everything gets added to that. And that is how I cross-reference to make sure everything is done. So yeah. So this is my setup. I have my little monthly that I put where we are in the month. So right now we're still in August. So this goes here. You guys, you see my sister? That is my baby. She's not a baby anymore, but she called me and she said, Mia, daddy needs an adult. I just cannot. The people's log. I will talk about the people's log later because the people's log is freaking hilarious. But my sister, let me just say it. My sister sent a message in our message group with my dad and I and said, Mia, daddy needs an adult present for his surgery. And I said, Megan, you are 38. You are an adult. She says, no, he needs a real adult, like one he'll listen to. And I'm like, okay, but okay, guys, my father is 76. So I say, okay, I'm just wondering where this conversation comes from. My father follows up and says, Mia, I agree with Megan. I need an adult. I laughed about this for the next 3 weeks. Up until I got off the plane, when I see my dad, I just start laughing again because these two are hilarious. So either way, this is my baby. I prayed for her. I wanted a sister so bad, and I got one 10 years later. So my sister and I. This is a piece of my mom's artwork, which is like one of my favorite pieces. She painted this for my classroom when I was a teacher. And so this picture has traveled with me through to every apartment I've ever had. And when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't travel with my mother's artwork because we are in the process of doing some things with her artwork. And I just didn't want to travel with it. So I left it there. But this is why we love pictures, because I took a picture, I made a sticker, and there we go. And then this is one of my favorite little things. I forgot where I got this little pack from, but it says, bitch, you're doing a good job. And that's just what it is. And then, of course, if you know, you know, that's so fetch, because that's just what it is. So this is my monthly section divider. And then I have this right here, which is, if you know me, you know, I have a planet on my back tattooed. I definitely believe I'm a space cadet because sometimes I just feel like the earth is earthen and I can't possibly be of this earth, even though I know I'm part of this earth. But sometimes it's like, you know, where are my people? Nanu, nanu, come get me, because this is a lot. So this is where I keep in the this week section of the planner. So I can, you know how we do, just divide everything up. This goes here, but the reason why I also keep this here is because, you know, we add all these things and it makes the pages bulky, but this is nice and smooth. So when I flip and I need to write, I can, because it's smooth. So that really serves a purpose. What else do I have in here? I want to show you guys. This is where I have a divider that I kind of, you know, just made and punched in for separating 2025 from 2026. And of course you can see 2026 is there. So, the only other thing that I did for this planner was, so because I'm always moving around, as you will always hear me say, I have a kabillion. And when I say a kabillion, you guys already know we go to these planner conventions and we just get loaded up with these wonderful, cute little stickers that some kind of way we're going to use them. We don't know when and we don't know where, but we do know where, but we don't know when. But we have I didn't even realize I had that. Oh, I have a pink one like that. Okay, so I'll keep that out. See, you see what I'm saying? And so, will not, some of these I've purchased, some of them I got for free, but at the end of the day, we're going to use them because we ain't going to lose them. But what we're not going to do is throw them away, right? And so, I should put these in March. Okay. Yeah, I want to put these in March. Okay. So anyway, because again, trying to keep my space organized. I'll put these up here with the ones that go on my planner. Trying to keep my space organized. I just took a handful of them one day and I went through and I said, ooh, let me just go ahead and put in here the ones I know that I always put to the side and say, oh, I'm going to use those and never do. So this young lady, here we go. Sweet Presley Designs. I am in love with her little designs. I think they are so cute. I love this little munchkin, even though it's it's like a little doggy, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I call it a little munchkin because it's so cute. But I love these. It's just enough stickers. And guess what, guys? Already ready for October. Already ready for November. Already ready for December. And so it's just easy. When I get there, I just pop it out, put it in, keep it pushing. So I ran out of these for her. And I guess, I don't remember if I bought those or if I ordered them. I want to say, because I believe that I'm disciplined, that I didn't order them because I placed myself on a no spend, and I want to say that I got them, but I guess the only one who really knows is Sweet Presley Designs, because she would either have a receipt from what I purchased, or I met her at a convention somewhere. But either way, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going onto her website because I would love to have these and carry them on for next year. But what I did was, because I've had these things that I just didn't want to use because I thought they were so cute. Uh-oh. Where are they? Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm sorry. I went too fast. So I thought I finished with December. October, November, December. And then we come into January. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's another one. So then, okay, that's what happened. I filled them all up. And then I said, oh, well, these are the ones I can use for the weekly. So this is another cute one. This is when I do it. See, I'm figuring out how to make life easier. Shopslowplanning.com. How cute is this? So that's the one I can use for December, for that week. And then, you guys, where is my... here we go. So then this is what I'm going to use for the week of January. I've had these for such a long time. And let me tell you. See, I don't know whose they are. Whose are these? Here we go. JalenPaperCo.com. JalenPaperCo.com. So... girl, I bought these from you. I don't even know when, but I did not want to use them. Why wouldn't I want to use them, they ask? Because it's Beauty and the Beast, and I can go back and I can begin to recite all of the songs from every scene that I ever sang with my sister when she was a little girl, as we did when we went to go see the movie in the movie theater, and we sat there and sang the entire time. So, of course, I didn't want to use them, but Mia, what are you holding on to them for? You have to use them. So, I just went through and I just started saying, Mia, use the stickers. So I said, okay, just pull them out. And so I did that with all of your stickers because, I mean, come on now, vampire, like, they're so cute. So I just started placing inside of my weeks. Oh, I did leave space. So I really could come back to you and get the ones for the months of January. Oh, see, I might treat myself. I don't know. If I go on there, she has them for next year. I might go ahead and get them. But either way, you can see where she little pops up again because I just love it. Sweet Presley Designs. And so these are like little stickies that I'll just use. And so I prepped the planner for the stickers that I'm going to use. My man, my dad, and the dog are all Pisces. So I want to make sure I use these from the month of March. So at some point in time. My best friend, is an Aries, but Aries is definitely, she's in January. I don't even know why that's there. Okay, hold on, stand by. She's an Aries. She goes there. Okay. You can see where I'm using my Delta washi tape for anything that's Delta. See, Stranger Things. Again, who would want to use it? I have to use it. I have to use it because I've been sitting on these for so long. I don't even know if she makes these anymore. I'm sure she doesn't because Stranger Things, I don't even know if Stranger Things is still on. But either way, Stranger Things. So I just went through because now if I'm traveling, guess what? I have what I need for the week and I don't have to think about it because I have been very just sporadic and just... I'm intentional, but without being intentional. Like, I need to have the things, but I don't want it to be something that I ponder over because trust me, I have bigger fish to fry. But this is my happy space. So again, I'm using. So I think what I did was I outlined and used all of the stickers that I have from this wonderful shop. At least I can use it for a week within the month. Now, I have others, but, you know, one day at a time because I have so many stickers that I just don't want to get rid of, but I have to do something with them. So this is it. I just really wanted to share how I finally figured it out, and I felt like I felt like I had, you know, yes, like I don't even know the word. I felt like I did it. Like, yes, I did it. So just wanted to share what that looks like. So again, this little baby, you see these at Staples. I don't know if Target has them. It is not the ever so popular day designer, because God bless you guys who can write that small. But baby, not only can I not write that small, but I got a lot of stuff to write. So I can't, I just, I need room. I tried college ruled. I'm not a college ruled girl. I am a regular loose leaf, wide line paper girl, and I'm okay with that. So I put her, and I know I need to figure out something else to do with this. This is just to remind me to pay my dues at the end of the year, but it just keeps going. So, sorry, I don't know what happened. I did something, but yeah. So this is my setup for right now. I am okay with it. 2 reasons why. Reason number 1, I didn't have to spend any more money on anything else, and I'm just trying to be really intentional about how I spend my money. And number 2 is I knew I had something that I could use, but I just wasn't sure. Am I okay with the bulkiness of it? I'm gonna be honest, for right now, yes. Worst case scenario, because I like consistency, I really like to use and finish what I start. I used to do that a long time ago, where I would find something and use it and then be like, I don't know if I like it, and jump to something else. I don't have time to jump. I need to get it done. I don't have time to sit back and contemplate. I sit back and contemplate on what makes life easier and functional for me, because my job and what I do is I make life easier and functional for other people. And I said this can go in March, which it can. So let's just find March real quick and put that in there. How has this ended up in March? Aries, Pisces. Oh, my Pisces. Okay. So I'll put this here. And at some point in time, I'll pull my washi out and tape that down so that's in there. But yeah, so this is it. This is how it goes. I'm going to call and make this colonoscopy appointment, because I was supposed to do that 2 weeks ago. Oh, and this one right here. So this is my next week divider. I don't know how I missed that, but Constance, let me tell you, when I tell you I sat at this table. Oh, yeah, I taped them together because I wanted them. I sat at the Constance table. I believe it was at the, what was the conference in Florida? I forgot, but, because it's in New York this year. I'm so terrible, guys. I'm so terrible. New York Planet. Not New York. I'm terrible. I am terrible. I have to write it down. But either way, I sat at Constance's table, and let me tell you, I did not want to leave the table because all of the colors were so vibrant and just so pretty. And it was just like, I mean, look at that. She has a third eye. It let me know that she was definitely conscious. Okay. So definitely have been holding on to these for a while. I actually used some of her sticker kits over the summertime in my planner, and we may see those when I do a flip through for the end of the year. Here we go again. Not today, Satan. So this is my next week. And I put this, so we have my monthly, my this week, and my next week. So this is where this would tend to go right here. I can't believe we're here September 1st. Another little sticker. And then here is my dad. That's my dad. And then my son-in-law, because he's my babes. And even though I couldn't have children, I just feel like, I said, Daddy, God is going to give us somebody who you can just love like one of your grandkids. And he did, because Boston is amazing. And then, yeah, so that's that. And, so I'll put that here. And then on the inside of my planner, I don't think I showed that. Okay, yeah. On the inside of my planner, so of course, I have my dad, my sister, my son-in-law. I have my brother. I don't know if we can see that, but that's my brother. This is my honey, my best buddy, and my love. And again, this is another sticker shop that I also didn't want to use the stickers, but fell in love with all of them. And yeah, so I'm using it all. I'm using it all. I thought I had an M. I didn't have an M, but what can you do with a W? You can make it an M. So, my name is Mia, so that's what it is. And then this one right here is so important. Stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. I had to remind myself of that. And when I did, let me just tell you how my business changed. There are a few surprises coming to my company. That will be announced about some of the work that I'm doing in my company. I'm so excited. excited. My business partner and I, we work so hard, and our clients are doing some great things. So yeah, next week, make sure you watch Good Morning America. One of them will be announced for Dancing with the Stars this season. Super, super, super excited. Yeah, so just a lot of good things happening. And then this little doohickey, she has been with me forever. She has been in my travel planners for years. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to stick her. I actually found her in this planner, this binder, this ring planner. When I opened it up, and I said, oh my girl, where have you been? So I put her in here. Another one. This is one of my first that I kind of like created. I didn't create it. I found it somewhere, cut it up, laminated, you know, old school teacher style. Smile because you're amazing. You gotta love a good cute little cactus, little paper clips. So yeah, so this is what I'm working with. This is what it looks like. This is what makes sense to me for my world, for my planner system, and for the life that I live. So I'm so excited to finally share because it took me forever to do this, but we are here, and have a great day. Bye.